Installing the gate's carbon belt. To do this, you will need high-performance grease, a rag, a 2mm hex key, a 4mm hex key, a 5mm hex key, a 10mm spanner, a 15mm spanner, a torque wrench with a 5mm hex key attachment and a 15mm socket attachment, a gate spring tension tester, CDTSTTAM, and a Shimano Di2 tool, TL-EW300. It's important to use the gate spring tension tester when installing the belt to ensure the correct tension, and whenever the rear wheel is removed, the belt will need to be re-tensioned. The parts you need are the gate's carbon belt. With a 5mm hex key, remove the 2 bolts from the gate's frame bracket and remove the bracket. Grease both the bolts and the bracket itself and lay them to one side. Then with a 4mm hex key, remove the fender bolt from the dropout to allow space for the belt. Then, take the gate's belt and unspiral it gently without force to prevent damage. Do not twist or invert the belt. Then orientate it so the writing faces you. Pass the belt through the frame bracket and rest it on the frame. Use a 4mm hex key to re-secure the fender to 3 Nm. Then replace the gate's bracket and using a 5mm hex key, then a torque wrench and 5mm hex key attachment, tighten the bolts to 14 to 17 Nm. Wipe away all excess grease with a rag. Ensure that the Di2 cable is well out of the way of the rear sprocket and place the belt onto the rear gate sprocket first. Once it's on the rear sprocket, you can place it on the front sprocket. To do this, you will need to make sure that the wheel is as far forward as it can be. Do not use any tools to do this or roll the pedals to do so. With the belt in place, you can now tension it. Make sure the tyre is inflated before doing this. Standing behind the bike, rotate the wheel so you can put the non-turn washers into place. Then hold the wheel and the rear fender with one hand and gently pull the rear wheel towards you until there is tension in the belt. Hold the wheel so that it's as central as possible in the rear frame. Look from the rear of the bike at either side of the tyre in the rear frame. Whilst holding the wheel in place, turn one barrel adjuster clockwise until the screw reaches the rear wheel. Hold the wheel in the other hand and ensuring the wheel stays central, screw the other barrel adjuster until it reaches the wheel. Make sure both barrel adjusters are equal. Then turn them simultaneously clockwise, increasing the tension of the belt and continuing to make sure the wheel is central. If it becomes uneven, adjust with the barrel adjusters. Use the barrel adjusters until the belt is not quite fully taut. It should still have a bit of give in it. This is trial and error. And then tighten the cap nuts with a 15mm spanner until a little overhand tight. Only then can you check the tension. You must use the gate's belt tensioning tool to check the tension of the belt. If it's too loose, the belt can jump off the teeth of the sprocket. And if it's too tight, it can damage the hub internals and increase the wear of your drive system. On the tool, yellow means too tight and red too loose. Place the tool on the belt so that the measurement tab is centered on the belt. Read the tension on the tool, then check the measurement with the pedal arm at 3, 6, 9, and 12 o'clock. The tension will vary, but ensure that the arrow is always in the green. You should reset the tool each time by pushing the arrow back down to the bottom. If it's too tight, loosen the cap nuts and turn the barrel adjusters simultaneously anti-clockwise very slightly. The barrels must be adjusted evenly at all times. If the belt is too loose, loosen the cap nuts and screw the barrel adjusters clockwise slightly. Even the smallest adjustment will make a very big difference in the tension. Each time the tension is adjusted, you must hand tighten the cap nuts before checking the tension again. When the correct tension has been found, you can secure both axle nuts to 30 to 45 Nm. Now the belt is installed, you can connect the Di2 cable. You must use the Shimano Di2 tool to do this to ensure it's properly installed and the cable can become damaged if it's not used. Insert the tool into the groove of the cable and push it into the motor unit until you hear a click. Then cover with the dust cover using your hands. Then gently push the excess cable into the frame. There shouldn't be any resistance. If there is, keep gently pushing and pulling until the excess goes in. The cable should not be taut. There should be a gentle loop coming from the motor unit and a gentle bend between the cable holder and the frame. Then secure the cable in place in the cable holder with a 2mm hex key until you feel resistance. Make sure that the struts of the fender don't touch the brake calipers or the motor unit. Also ensure the fender doesn't contact the tyre anywhere, and remember to take care not to damage the rear light cable on the left strut. You can also adjust the distance of the fender from the tyre using a 10mm spanner to ensure that it sits evenly over the whole tyre and side to side as viewed from the rear. Remember to check your tyre pressure around once a week to keep them inflated to the correct pressure.